A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Feige from his Favreau.
These days, we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace.
I am Graham.
And I am Braden.
And we're a father and son team. We run I Am Your Father podcast. And we've got a great show today. I think we've got a main topic of the first steps of Marvel Phase 6. Fantastic Four has officially come, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I am the son, he is the father. And
in case you were unclear.
In case you're just listening, you know.
Yeah.
Quick update before our 10 and 20. You recommended I watch The Bear. And
I did.
I will report
Have you started?
that I am nearly through season 3 in the last week.
Okay.
So I have watched almost 3 seasons of it so far in less than a week. And
sounds like maybe somebody's enjoying it.
No, I hate it. No, yeah, absolutely. I'm really enjoying it. I like it a lot. So good recommendation, and we can talk about it once I finish it.
Right. Well, you know what you're supposed to say.
Heard, chef?
You're supposed to say thank you, chef.
Thank you, chef.
That's right. I have a little update, too, as a matter of fact. Last week's episode, we talked about our best of the best year to date so far, and I listed off a few shows that I had yet to watch. In my list, one of them I've started. I'm about halfway through The Residence, and I have to report that The Residence is in my top 5 for sure. Had I seen it in the first half of the year when it came out, it would have definitely made my top 5. Number 5 at a minimum, maybe number 4. We'll see how it ends, how I get through season 1. I have to say I am already a little heartbroken that I read that Netflix canceled it after one season. Despite the critical acclaim. And I'm here to say, if you're into mysteries, if you're into any kind of absurdist satire as well, this is right up your alley. This is in the vein of Knives Out, Clue, I don't know, a handful of other things that maybe a little Murders in the Building. I don't know, only Murders in the Building. Like it's definitely got a lot of really good, like both legit fun mystery as well as a little bit of absurd comedy. Some amazing cast of characters. I highly recommend it. I think you would love it. I know that you like mysteries.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. You wanna break down what our 10 and 20 is, and then we can dive in?
Yeah, all right. Let's get going on our 10 and 20. So we cover 10 topics in 20 minutes, not a second more. This is what's going on this week, and we're going to spend about 2 minutes per topic, right?
Hopefully.
All right. Well, let's get going on topic number 1. You want to hit this one?
Yeah, I will. We have a trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash releasing at the end of this year, and I'll give my quick thoughts on it. I think it looked awesome.
Yeah.
It took a minute to get going for me. You know, the first 30 seconds were a lot of what we've seen before, a lot of Awa, a lot of blue people in the jungle and the water. Yeah. But as soon as we got introduced to that fire tribe, I was in. It looked so good, especially, of course, now I'm blanking on his name, but when we see the villain of the movies, the general, as in his avatar form with the red paint and the piercings, I was like, oh crap, this looks pretty freaking awesome. I have to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, damn you, Big Jim. I mean, I was definitely prepared to dislike it. I feel like I approach every James Cameron movie from the perspective that this is the one he will completely lose me on, and it consistently doesn't happen. This looked great. I was hooked right away. I didn't expect it. I hadn't read that this was going to be a trailer in front of Fantastic Four. And I was just like you. I was hooked immediately. I'm like, yes, bring this on. This is now one of the big things that I am looking forward to this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Looked amazing.
Great trailer.
Very good trailer. Very hyped.
All right, topic number 2. We just came off of San Diego Comic-Con, and we have a handful of trailers despite a lot of big studios not showing up at all. We did still get some interesting trailers. I'm curious if anything stood out to you, Braden, that you thought was particularly cool and are excited about. Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see too many of these, mostly because I didn't really want to. For the stuff I'm going to watch, I'm just trying to save it, especially
you've been
if I've seen
boycotting trailers lately.
A little bit. If I've seen one of them already, then I don't feel that I need to see another one,
I agree.
That's kind of where I'm at. I will say a movie that I don't care too much about won me over a little more, and that's Tron Ares.
Yeah.
That new trailer looked just so visually stunning. I think it's going to be at least a good time, hopefully. So that was pretty cool. And then I saw the Percy Jackson trailer as well. I really enjoyed those books growing up. I thought the first season was decent, not the best, lots to learn from. And I think this second season so far is looking maybe a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to that. I watched some of it with Cosette, my sister, last time, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really watch any of them. How about you?
I watched a handful of them, not all of them. I watched Predator Badlands. I really liked the trailer for Predator Badlands. That was one that won me over. I don't know how excited I necessarily was for this film. Now I'm very excited for this film.
Yeah.
But I think there were also some duds. Primitive War looked like a dud to me. War of the Worlds, I didn't get. It was a dud. I don't know. I will say also that another one that won me over was Peacemaker Season 2.
Yeah.
I didn't watch one. I'm not a big John Cena fan, so I kind of just skipped it.
But he is the funniest part of the Suicide Squad.
I mean, it was fine. I mean, I only have so much tolerance for him, but I have to say that watching this particular trailer for Season 2, I thought, again, damn it, James Gunn. Like, this is a different Big Jim. This is Little Jim.
Yeah, Little Jim.
Damn it, Little Jim. What are you doing to me? You make me want to watch a John Cena show. So I think
gun never jams.
That's right. I think I will be going back and picking up Season 1 and getting myself ready for Season 2, especially since we're now hearing from James Gunn that Season 2 will be canon and will impact the future of the DCU.
Yeah, I'll have to do the
that's
same.
another one. A lot of the other ones, I thought Tron looked good. There's a lot going, a lot of orange light beams flying everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what's happening there, but I don't know. It definitely seemed like somewhat of an underwhelming Comic-Con.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, and I know we're over time here, so I'll go quick, but I remember being 15, 16 years old, and it was basically my dream to go to Comic-Con. And this was when Marvel was at Hall H, and they were they were releasing trailers to Infinity War and announcing movies and all that stuff. And now, in my adulthood, not too much later, but I'm just kind of looking like, now that I could afford to go to Comic-Con, I don't think I really would, because it doesn't seem as magical recently.
Not in today's state. I think that hopefully it comes back. Hopefully there's a bit of a revival and this doesn't die off. When I was a teenager and in college, my dream movie locale or event was Sundance. I desperately wanted to go to the Sundance Film Festival, and that's more or less has been dying a slow death for a long time. And now I don't know. I agree. I don't know that I'd go there anymore. But yeah, that's a bummer. All right, let's jump into topic 3. You got it.
Yeah, Superman surpasses Man of Steel as the highest grossing Superman film domestically.
Yes.
People thought it wasn't going to happen. It finally happened. I'm honestly not surprised. I actually just saw the movie again last night. And I have to say,
how did it hold up?
I think I enjoyed it more. Not enough to bump up its rating, but I think just overall viewing experience was better. The moments that I really loved the first time, I loved even more the second time. So it held up well for me. And I'm not surprised that it beat out Man of Steel. I'm really not.
I'm not either. Obviously, Man of Steel didn't have a lot of maybe second viewing opportunities. It got it was pretty mixed reviews when it came out. So I know that a lot of people went to see opening weekend, but not necessarily doing the repeat views like you did. Now that we're 2 weeks in,
absolutely.
2 or 3 weeks in. We're 3 weeks in.
About 3,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get it. I do think it's kind of weird, though, that I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes today. It's still only the third highest rated behind Superman 2 and Superman 1.
Yeah.
I still don't get the 88.5 whatever percent, the highest rated of the Superman movies. I still don't get Superman 2 being that. To me, that movie is an absolute mess, and I thoroughly unwatchable. I don't understand what the critics were looking at. It's 2 movies put together. It's terrible. It really is. I think it's terrible. But I am looking forward to seeing it again, seeing Superman again.
Yeah.
And hopefully I have the same experience you do.
Yeah. I mean, that'll take us right into number 4. And that's, it seems that we're looking at Jimmy Olsen and Mr. Terrific spinoffs. Nothing confirmed or concrete, but this is what James Gunn is seeming to want to do. I mean, Mr. Terrific was one of the better parts of the movie. I thought he was pretty good performance, pretty fun.
I don't disagree with that.
And then in terms of a Jimmy Olsen show, Apparently, it would work kind of as a crime anthology, highlighting different DC villains in Metropolis. Here's all I'll say. And I know this is different. It was Matt Reeves. A Penguin show didn't sound like the most interesting thing until it came out, and it was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. And so that was really good. And I actually
one of the best shows of 24.
Yeah, definitely. So who knows? I mean, I'm here for whatever James Gunn is working on. He keeps proving me wrong. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like every single thing needs a dang spinoff.
I agree.
And it was, if you remember, one of my critiques of this film was that there was way too much going on. They could have scaled it back 30% in terms of characters, in terms of, side quests. There was so damn much happening that I ultimately felt like it was distracting. It's still a great movie. I still loved it a lot, but I feel like it could have used a little more editing. Obviously, the reason it didn't get that editing is because James Gunn has plans for some of these other characters, and he really badly wants us to be invested in them. I just don't know how invested I am in a whole series about either of these characters, despite the fact that I liked them both in this film. So anyway, That's my take. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all right, let's jump into our next topic. We've got an updated ending to Predator Killer of Killers. Recently, fans rewatching reported that suddenly the ending had been updated, and now instead of just... by the way, we're going to... little tiny spoiler alert here, right?
Yep.
So if you don't want a spoiler about Killer of Killers, don't listen to this part. But instead of just Amber Midthunder's character in cryo sleep at the end, they've now added Arnold and I'm getting too old for this shit, Danny Glover.
Yep.
Into the end. And interesting Easter egg, not interesting? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're honestly just leading to another animated movie where they can bring back those actors to play these characters for, a fun cinematic universe with these Predators.
Yeah.
I know you actually didn't watch the movie. I did.
Not yet.
And it was pretty good. I actually have been on board with the Predator content we've received lately. And like you said, I'm actually kind of looking forward to what's coming as well.
Well, so I loved Prey.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. They're kind of on a roll right now. They are. So... well, I'm here for it. I'm here for whatever they seem to be setting up, because that movie ended very much as setup for something bigger.
This one, the animated one.
The animated
Killer
one.
of Killers. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I need to watch it. Maybe I'll throw it on tonight. I'm down. I'm down for it. I agree. I think that Prey was really the first time I really loved a Predator movie since the original Predator. And the reason I loved the original Predator was because probably more than anything else was because I wasn't supposed to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I really badly wanted to see it. And so, of course, I loved it at the time. But it's not something I've revisited more than once or twice in my life. So, but Prey, I think, is thoroughly rewatchable. And so I will catch up on this. But I am seeing a lot of stuff on the internet right now about, with people complaining about this new ending, saying like, well, this feels like really just 100% fan servicey. It kind of kills the endings of those two films in a way.
Yeah, which is fair.
And yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. The real Predator fans seem mixed on this. I can't claim to be a real Predator fan, but I have. Maybe I'll become one after this and Badlands, because I think both look good, particularly Badlands.
They're winning us over. They are.
Yeah, they are.
All right.
They are.
I'll take us into number 6.
Got it. Go.
We have National Treasure 3 in the works. Mind you, there was a television show, but we don't talk about that because it was what we call buns.
We don't talk about that or Bruno.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay.
I particularly am excited for this in a way that I'm excited for the original cast returning for Pirates 6. I mean, this is my childhood. These are movies that I kind of romanticize. And they are almost kind of romantic movies in the way that they romanticize their subject matter.
Yeah.
And they're just, I have to admit, they're feel-good movies for me still. I like turning them on. I find them very entertaining, although cheesy, but very entertaining and heartwarming.
Yeah.
And so I'm here for it. I'm here for National Treasure 3. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, these were really the Indiana Jones movies of your childhood.
Yeah.
And I think, like, they introduced you to this concept, even though I think by the time they came out, had I already introduced you to Raiders and stuff? I can't remember what the order we did it
I
at.
don't remember.
But I'm sure that had we watched National Treasure together first, I would have almost immediately said, okay, well, now we're going to go home and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
But I have to agree. Reluctantly, this is, it's definitely a straight ripoff in a lot of ways, but I really enjoyed the films. They're well done. They're just a lot of fun. I agree. And 2 was good also. 1 was great. 2 was maybe not quite as great, but also really good. So I'm down for a third, especially if it includes Nicolas Cage. I just really don't want them to jump the shark.
No. I mean, what's more iconic than I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence? I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Come on.
Well, there's plenty that's more iconic, but it's definitely a good line.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Take us into 7.
Okay. We've just reached the 6-year anniversary of Mahershala Ali being announced as our new Blade. Have you liked his performance so far, Braden?
I mean, he looks a lot like Wesley Snipes in Deadpool and Wolverine.
We've certainly lost some momentum. I mean, do you remember another project in the MCU that's been so like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop?
No.
Why can't they get this going?
They can't get it right. I mean, they even teased him at the end of Eternals. I mean, he recorded a line for the post-credit scene, but now it seems like they might not even be going in that direction.
Honestly, I was waiting for fangs to protrude out of his mouth during Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Rebirth. I was like, is this going to finally be when he's going to turn into Blade?
This poor guy, kills him? I just can't imagine. He signed on to be an awesome character in a thriving Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it has since lost a lot of momentum and done nothing with him. And so he's kind of just getting strung along, and it's really unfortunate.
I think so too. I got to be honest. Like, how much work has he been doing lately? I feel like it can't be because of his schedule, right?
No, it's not. It's very clearly reported that it's because of the script. The script keeps getting rewritten, completely reworked. It just keeps getting turned in and being bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at his IMDb right now, we just had Jurassic World Rebirth this year. Before that, it was 2 years since we'd seen him in anything, and it was that Leave the World Behind
Netflix movie.
It was a Netflix movie, which I didn't see, although it did look interesting.
I watched it and I liked it.
He voiceover part, obviously, as Uncle Aaron in Across the Spider-Verse. He is interestingly, I mean, he's listed in that Eternals. I mean, you hear his voice, I guess, but that's it. Like, so basically, since they announced this, he has been on our screen exactly 3 times. We've kind of lost a chunk of his career because of this. It feels like to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Marvel too much credit.
Right.
Maybe he's just enjoying picking projects that he really likes. But it seems like we haven't got it. For a minute there, it was like Mahershala Ali's everywhere, and for the last 5 years, we haven't got a lot.
Yeah. Well, that needs to get made. But speaking of things that shouldn't have been made. Did you watch Happy Gilmore 2?
No, I didn't, because it just looked like hot garbage to me. I will admit that at 18, 19, however old I was when Happy Gilmore came out, somewhere in that world, maybe a little older, I don't know, but I still had a semi-juvenile sense of humor, and I loved Happy Gilmore. I thought it was hilarious. I have matured. Adam Sandler has not. Despite, a lot of success, he's still extremely successful at having a 19-year-old's sense of humor, and this just looked like the sequel that did not need to be made. So I avoided it. And honestly, I read your review. I've read a lot of reviews. There's really not anybody that likes it. People seem to want to it's got such great cameos, and it's good to see Happy again. But that's just people trying to cover up the fact that they're kind of sad that they didn't like it.
No, at best people are tolerating it. I agree. Yeah. And I'll touch on the cameos, dude. It's kind of just ridiculous. At one point, there's 10 in 3 minutes, and we just kept going, oh. It was like sensory overload. What is happening? And I'll say this:
you don't even follow golf.
No, I don't. And that was another mistake. They cast golfers to be like main characters, and they're not actors. I mean, that alone. No, I'll say this. There were laughs. The first half of the movie, especially, I laughed fairly consistently every like 5 minutes, but it just went off the rails, absolute bonkers, not worth its own existence at all. But we don't need to spend too much more time talking about Happy Gilmore 2.
I don't think I'll be watching it, so this will be the last time I talk about it.
Pass.
But I do have some cool information that I think we should talk about for number 9.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner gave an interview this last week, and he says Hawkeye Season 2 is going to happen. I'm pumped about this. Hawkeye, I'm a Hawkeye lover. I'm one of those weird people that thinks it's better than Loki. Come at me, internet. Come at me. I get it. Fine. But I loved the Hawkeye show. And I tell you what, it's become a calendared rewatch for me every Christmas. I'm going through that series again. I loved Hawkeye in this. I loved Yelena coming back. The whole thing was just great. Haley Steinfeld, I liked it all. I'm a big fan. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this duo. So I'm down. I really hope he's right.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, you said it. That's great news for me. We've touched on it a bit in the past, but I want to see it, so I'm happy that he seems optimistic about it. And I'll be watching it as soon as it drops.
Not just optimistic. I felt like he was like adamant. It's happening. The way I was reading it, like it's going to happen,
Yeah. Let's hope.
We'll see. Let's hope so. All right. Let me get number 10. I'll start us off here too.
Yeah.
This will take us into our main topic eventually. So Marvel Phase 6 has officially started. A few weeks back, Kevin Feige, I don't know why I pronounced his name that way.
Feige.
Like it was a type of Greek yogurt. Kevin Feige announced or gave an interview where he admitted that maybe some of the superhero fatigue was coming from the fact that Marvel's Phase 5 was so heavily television show driven, too much focus on the shows, and yet right now, two things. One, he then gave an interview right after Superman and Fantastic Four opened where he said, see, there is no superhero fatigue, even though he said a week before that there was and why there was. And then on top of that, right now our Phase 6 calendar is like 4 films and 8 TV shows. It's still TV heavy.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Because it seems like he's talking out of his ass right now with this. We need more films. There's a lot of rumors that more films are going to be announced, but right now the official calendar, 4 films, 8 television shows.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny, and I definitely agree. There was an aspect of the television being the primary source of content that created Marvel issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Kevin Feige out of his own mouth said it started to feel like homework. And that's just true. And there are still shows, there's a few that I haven't seen. I never thought there would be a point in my life where there was MCU content that I didn't watch,
Just chose to skip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Or started and couldn't get through. So, there's
been half a dozen at least now.
Yeah, but here's also part of the problem is I think part of the problem was the way they were being structured because they wanted to make them like long movies rather than television, Yeah. And it would always like start off really interesting. Almost all of their shows started off really well and then would lose you around episode 3 or 4 and then would kind of just stagger to the end. And he himself said that they're working on letting television be television, right? And so to me, it's like, now I'm hoping, okay, clearly you said you're going to dial it back on the television. We really haven't so far yet, at least for Phase 6, right? Maybe at least we'll be getting better quality shows.
According to the calendar right now, movie-wise, am I wrong? We're going from Fantastic Four, we're going to get a Spider-Man movie and then right into Avengers Doomsday.
Maybe not even in that order. We might get Doomsday first.
Is Doomsday before Brand New Day? I was thinking it was.
It keeps going back and forth. So we don't know.
Either way, what made Phase 1 and Phase 2 so great was we had multiple introductions of characters. We built up to the team up. This is what made the DCU fall apart. They tried to rush their version of the Avengers as quickly as possible. They hadn't earned it. So while I'm super optimistic about the film we're about to talk about, I'm a little concerned about where this calendar's at.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. But I'll say this. I was talking to a buddy earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking about what we've experienced recently and then some of the stuff coming out,
yeah,
this is the first time in a long time that I'm actively excited about both DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the first time in many years. And so for me, that's a great feeling. It's almost become a nostalgic feeling, which is kind of weird because we're not that far removed, but
yeah,
I've grown a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. A lot has changed, grew up, moved out, got married, all these different things,
20 to 25 is a lot of growth. Yeah.
A lot going on. So for me, it's like, I'm starting to get that feeling. I'm like, man, I remember how excited I used to be about this stuff. And I'm starting to feel it again, just a little bit, but starting to. And so that's a fun thing. In this movie, I mean, like I said, Thunderbolts, we loved. Superman, we loved. This movie that we're about to talk to, spoiler alert, Fantastic Four First Steps, we loved. We're on a good stretch right now, and
we are.
It's making me optimistic. Let's dive into it, huh?
Let's dive into it. So that's our 10 and 20. Thanks for listening to that segment. If you're new to the pod, please subscribe, share, like, all that kind of stuff. We do this 10 and 20 every week to get you caught up, but then we got a main topic that we're going to discuss. And as Braden just mentioned, our main topic is Fantastic Four First Steps. You're sporting the Fantastic Four shirt. I got a little silver surfer action going on.
Go.
I don't have the Julia Garner version yet, so I'm gonna have to work on that.
You're gonna have to get it when it drops.
We'll talk about her in a minute.
Yeah.
What do we know about this film financially? You usually got the numbers for us. Do you have any ideas, or am I putting you on the spot and you don't have the numbers for us?
You're putting me on the spot a little bit. I'll say this.
Sorry.
It did very well. I know that.
Okay.
It did very well. I'm pretty sure it's outperforming Thunderbolts by quite a bit.
Yeah,
which isn't super surprising.
It beat the guidance, like what the prediction was. I think the prediction was like 120, and I'm pretty sure it was surpassed that. Yeah, domestically.
I think globally we're somewhere around 350 already.
Yeah. Which means, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a bigger opening weekend than Superman had, right? Because Superman really didn't have the international appeal that this one seems to have had. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So Superman, I think, had a little higher domestic gross. Fantastic Four has had a higher total global gross for the first weekend.
Yes, I believe
or maybe
so.
I'm making that up.
No, you're correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll start. I think they finally made a Fantastic Four movie that's worth watching. This is the first, honestly. And we've had really 4 attempts at this. This is the 5th attempt, and I'm counting the one that never got released.
Okay, fair enough.
You
saw the gears turning for a second.
Yeah, at some point or another, there 4 different Fantastic Four movies have been filmed, and they were all trash. They're all absolute garbage. And this is the 5th attempt, and it's good. It's totally worth watching. It's a good film. I like it a lot.
All right, I'll jump in. Yes, okay. I agree. This is far and away the best.
Are you about to tell me that one of those is not trash?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
Yes, I am. To be clear, First Steps is far and away the best. And if you're watching one, it should absolutely be this one. I will say that the first one to release, Chris Evans is Human Torch, Jessica Alba, Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
I think it rewatches well. I think if you go into it knowing that it's cheesy, corny, all these things, and it's kind of junk food, you can enjoy junk food sometimes. I would maybe I'm gonna make you watch it for homework, even though you've already seen it at some point.
Oh, for me, you make me rewatch it.
For me, it's a fun revisit. Like, it's not the best, it's not, but it is plenty enjoyable if you can kind of just let it be what it is.
In fairness, that first Fantastic Four movie was the first superhero movie you ever saw.
Yes,
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that had to be in it. Yeah,
I thought it was Silver Surfer.
Well, what? No. I took you to the theater to see that first one, not the Silver Surfer one. We saw that later. I took you to the first one. In fact, I remember vividly because your mom got really mad at me. So I remember vividly taking you to the theater to see Fantastic Four. So it was your first superhero movie ever, and so I can appreciate why it has a special place in your heart. Maybe I will rewatch it. I just don't think I don't think you can even compare it to what we have here. So
it's junk food.
What did we get with First Steps? I'm going to say the most important points here are, or my first point will be costumes, set design, art direction, just impeccable. Absolutely impeccable, and instantly transports you into the world of the characters and the world that the director wants you to be in, and it feels right. It feels right for Fantastic Four. You know, I've said on a number of occasions in private conversations that there was something a little corny about their powers that worked really well in comics, really well in animation, doesn't translate super well to live action. I think that the fact that they made this a period piece, even though the period was just the 60s in the US, it totally adds to the ease at which one can suspend disbelief watching these characters and these superpowers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was brilliant, and I just absolutely loved what they did with art direction, with set design, and with costumes.
It was beautiful to look at. Absolutely. And you even said, like, with this whole setting, you could make almost anything work, right?
I did, yeah, I do. I think that. I mean, like, in other words, the script could have been much worse than it was. Luckily, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But it could have worked in that setting. We could have taken the script from either of those other two Fantastic Four movies and put it and shot it this way, and it probably would have been a much better movie. Sorry, the old version, not better than this one though. But
right,
you know
correct. What I mean. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love that they even kind of poke fun at the silliness at one point right away in the beginning. You know, they're doing the talk show kind of a thing, and Reed's like, you know, I took the 4 best people up for the job who just so happened to be me, my wife, her brother, and my best friend. You know, like
yeah,
the 4 best scientific minds on the planet, all directly connected. You know, so it was just it's kind of funny. I appreciated that. Yeah. You're right. It was instantly immersive. Right away, I was sold. Here's something I'll say.
Okay.
I was never really sold on any of the casting for this movie.
I'd agree.
That is until I sat down and watched the movie, and I was instantly sold. I think they were all perfect. Honestly, I don't have a gripe with any of them. Every single character, and that includes Galactus and Silver Surfer. I mean, all of them I felt were pitch perfect in their roles, truly.
Yeah, I think coming in, the only one that I thought made sense was Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm.
And I did not at all.
Yeah, fair. I just... We've touched on him a number of times because he's been on such a hot streak, and he's been in so many things that we really like. Yeah, no pun. Good. But yeah, I have to agree with you. As much as Vanessa Kirby, for example, gets a lot of love and a lot of critical acclaim, and a lot, like, she's been popular, I've never found her to be like, I feel like there's a coldness to most of her performances that I just don't connect with. I'm not saying she's a bad actor. I think she's a very good actor, but I've never really connected with her until now. Like her Sue Storm was so relatable. She brought something to this performance that I've never seen in her acting before that I really appreciated. She was so likable, so genuine, so warm. I was really impressed with her performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think she was amazing. Pedro, really good as Reed. I mean, we're kind of in a funny spot, right? Where Pedro Pascal, you kind of think you're getting Pedro Pascal, right? You know, he comes with the mustache, you know, but so he may not have looked like Reed to a T, but he has range. He has great.
So much range. I think as much as he gets talked about, as much as he's praised, and we're even reaching a point where people are talking about Pedro Pascal fatigue, that because he's just freaking everywhere this year and last year and whatever. If you look at the performances that he has given in a few key roles, the Nick Cage movie, for example, Narcos, the one in Narcos, he is so different. Oh, going back to the first time I ever saw him was in Game of Thrones, and or that I realized like this guy's good. Like there is so much range. He brought a specific type of character to Reed Richards that was perfect, and it was not what we see in The Last of Us. It was not what we see in The Mandalorian. It was not what we see in a lot of these other things. I was instantly sold on him. Like the very first moment when she says, "Can you just give me 12 seconds?" And he's like, 12 seconds is very specific. I fell in love with his performance instantaneously.
He was doing a little bit of a voice.
I loved the quirkiness of what he brought to Reed, and it was completely believable. One of my favorite Pascal performances, and I never would have expected to be saying that about Fantastic Four First Steps.
Right. I even appreciate that they even like touched a little bit on like the character dynamic of being almost overly intelligent and under empathetic, right? Like he's almost unable to comprehend like Sue's extreme pain with the thought of giving up Franklin. Yeah. Like he's putting, I love the bit of dialogue where he basically says he is essentially cursed and it is his job to think of all the worst things that could ever happen and make them not happen. That. Like he goes to the dark places because he's so intellectual he has to, right?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, yes. I think this sort of, what you're talking about really kind of culminates in the press conference that he gives after coming back.
Yeah.
And being, they've just had the encounter with Galactus. He's just had the offer to save the world if they give up Franklin, if they give up the unborn child. And, any other character in any other show doesn't stand up there and tell the world that happened.
Right.
And you can see in every other character, like, they're like, well, we have to follow Reed's lead, but why is he saying this?
Why did he say that?
He's not
comprehending the emotional response.
He's being way too honest. We shouldn't be this honest about this. But it's beautiful. And I love the foil that Sue provides for him in terms of the humanity that I referenced earlier in Jessica Kirby's performance. But then that really shows up in when she walks out and delivers her speech to the angry mob that is frustrated that they didn't give up their kid for the sake of the world. All in all, super impressive. I have to also say Natasha Lyonne, who can really annoy the crap out of me at times. Like, it seems like on purpose. I feel like some of her performances just are purposely grating. She came out and she was so engaging, and so I was like, oh, this is great. This is why I used to really, really like Natasha Lyonne. So, great performances across the board. What do you think about the plot? Oh, yeah. You got more to talk about. Sorry.
No, yeah, just real quick. I was going to say, I feel like the cast really, really sold me with their chemistry as well. They felt like a family, which I really appreciated. And some of that had to do with the plot and the script. With, we have scenes where like Sue and Reed are very clearly in love and have, a good loving marriage, but that doesn't mean that they get along every single day fully, right? They don't always see eye to eye. They have their tiffs, but they also recognize each other's strengths and their own weaknesses. We have the scene.
She has that fantastic line where she says, sometimes you being you is really hard on me.
It's really bad for me. Yeah,
totally.
It was
a really great punishing but real line, and I loved that.
Yeah, and then there's even more, and I'm going to kind of jump into a topic that I want to touch on more in a minute. But when they're being chased by the Silver Surfer and she yells at Johnny to kill her, and he's like, I don't want to kill her. And he's like, she wants to kill your nephew. Kill her. And he's like, crap. Like, yeah, she wants to kill my nephew,
Yeah.
And so like there's so many of these things, and even just the way that they all hang out, like in each other's bedrooms and stuff like that, like little details like this and their on-screen chemistry, it worked for me. I really bought them as, Marvel's first family.
I for sure wanted to move into the Baxter Building.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Silver Surfer. This is our second Silver Surfer, right? We talked about how bad the previous one was.
Visually, very awesome.
Yeah. But the movie itself, everything wasn't great. So we've got a change. We've got Julia Garner as a Silver Surfer. You want to go first? You want me to give my thoughts? What do you want to do here?
Yeah, I'll go real quick because I got it all on the forefront.
First of all, fresh in the head.
Awesome, very very awesome.
You liked it, did you?
Yeah, right off the bat when they announced her as Silver Surfer and the internet lost their mind, as they tend to do. I thought it was interesting because
so out of character for the internet.
Yeah, I don't think enough people really knew that there's not just one Silver Surfer. And I get it. Like, you got one you grew up with, that's the one you want to see. But Shia LaBeouf, I think is how you say it, Shia LaBeouf, pretty cool character. I mean, this movie sold me. She was awesome from beginning to end. She had great motivation. I will just say visually looked amazing. She had many just amazing lines. I mean, she was dropping bars when she showed up and she said, I herald, your end. I herald Galactus. Like, that whole speech she gave me chills. I was like, damn.
His start, your end. I herald Galactus. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. I agree. I think that Julia Garner brought something to this character that I didn't expect, and made me feel emotionally connected to Silver Surfer in ways that I haven't in the past, and made me discard some of the parts of the character that really I think are a little odd and distracting. I mean, realistically, like if you spend too much time thinking about the Silver Surfer, like, why is this intergalactic herald, this intergalactic being that is like so powerful? Why are they riding around the same mode of transportation as like Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze in Point Break? I don't,
because it's freaking sick.
Okay, so it's a cool idea, but it doesn't really stand the test of reality, or like it just doesn't feel like if you think about it too long, you're gonna be like, yeah, why is this thing flying?
You're not supposed to think about
flying around on a surfboard
for too long.
Okay, but when you move them into live action, that's what has to happen. You have to start thinking of it in a more realistic way. So I'm just saying that this is always one of those things that keeps me from being like super excited about Silver Surfer, because I feel like in a cartoon, in a comic book, it works. It doesn't to me in a live action film until this time. Julia Garner brought something to the character. The filmmakers brought something to the character with the script as well that made me not care, and it made me not want to think about the surfboard and just say, like what you said, yeah, it's freaking cool. I mean, dude, she's surfing on fire, she's surfing on water, she's surfing on stars. It's cool.
When she was surfing the lava, I mean, that was so cool. Yeah. And then she was surfing the black hole, basically. Like, dude, it was really, really cool. She did amazing. I totally bought and appreciated the Silver Surfer in this movie. I don't think we can really talk about the Silver Surfer without touching on Galactus. And
okay, let's touch on Galactus.
What a major improvement over the giant space cloud we got in the last Fantastic Four movie. I mean, I think they handled Galactus just so well. I mean, every time he was on screen, like not even coming close to fitting in frame. Especially his introduction when he's mostly in shadow. His lines were incredible. He was menacing, and it was such a good, they utilized him so well that you feel his presence when he's not on screen. And that's what I really appreciate. Like, he drives everything that happens in this movie with only being on screen for like 10 minutes at most.
Yeah. They did a good enough job that I didn't even care that this was a character that was, taller than the tallest building in the world, that was walking through this multiversal New York City and just like crushing buildings by leaning on them. I got over it. I got over it pretty quick. And normally that's the kind of thing that takes me right out of a film. So. Yeah.
You know what? And I'll add to it a little bit. We're going to hop into another spoiler here.
Okay.
But
do you have like a siren we can put? We should put like a siren, a spoiler alert siren.
I'll work on that. On that.
Ready and go.
Spoiler. Here we go. So there's some complaints happening, as there always are, about how the movie ended. Specifically the fact that Sue is able to hold off and push back Galactus. Galactus is kind of the end-all be-all threat in Marvel Comics, simply because of his size, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people were rather frustrated. Like, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, basically single-handedly defeated Galactus. Here's what I have to say to that. Mm-hmm. Because I have a quick little video essay to deliver. First of all,
take us to church.
I never felt this way watching this movie. Here's why. Right away, he talks about his endless hunger. His appetite is never appeased. And he says that at one point he was their size, right? This being is eating and consuming, which tells me that he's growing because of this, right? Mm-hmm. Already, this Galactus is not the size of Galactus in the comics. Galactus in the comics, usually his face is like looking over the earth, right? Like kind of like the Celestials in the Eternal movies, you know? Yeah. He's much more that size. So already we have a Galactus not nearly at the strength that we oftentimes see him in these major comic runs, right? Additionally, Sue wasn't by herself. We had the Thing knocking down buildings so he couldn't use support. We had Johnny, flaming on and all that different stuff.
And I thought the whole point of the whatever portal they built, I don't remember, was that it was also sucking him in. Like I felt like she was pushing him, but he was also being pulled back into it.
Yeah,
that was at least how I took it.
Yeah, maybe. I need to see it again to know for sure. But regardless, even if it's not, even if it's not, we have now a mother, and we know mothers can tap into a certain kind of strength when their baby's in danger, She's tapping into something here, and it kills her. Spoiler alert. She dies. This wasn't a walk in the park for Invisible Woman to push Galactus back a block, She pushed him back a block and died doing so. And she had the support of her team. So for me, this isn't ridiculous. They said he was sent to, the corner of the universe. You better believe this Galactus is angry, coming back. In 6 or 7 years, maybe we're going to see him again, and he's going to be way bigger because he was eating planets the whole way back. I'm not a fan of when people see a movie and expect the characters to be exactly the most powerful version of them that they know from the comics when we know that these characters are coming back, right? When we know there's further story to be told. Same thing with Mr. Fantastic. He was stretched. He got like 30 feet and it started to rip him up, Yeah. This is not normal for Mr. Fantastic, but you better believe at some point he's going to become more powerful. Reed is probably going to look at this situation and be like, I almost died. I have to be able to stretch further than that. He's going to figure out how to do it to himself, Like allow for characters to grow, allow for them to upgrade. When they reach their ultimate form, they become less interesting because there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah. This is the Superman conundrum that we talk about so often.
Yes.
I agree. I really hope, though, like knowing that Doctor Doom is meant to be the Thanos of this phase, I'm worried that maybe Galactus isn't going to come back. It's not going to be part of the future. And they did such a great job. I really hope that somehow they tie him back in to some of this additional films that we get this phase.
Yeah, definitely. I'll throw in one other thing, and then I think you'll piggyback off of it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the way they handled its clobber in time. It is just one of the dorkiest but most fun catchphrases in comic book movies. I've been playing a game called Marvel Rivals a lot lately, and I've been maining the Thing. And so me and my friends, we're just constantly joking around. If we're losing, I'm like, oh wait, I didn't know what time it was. When we're starting a match, we're running in. I'm like, hey guys, you already know what time it is. We're making all these jokes. And so I love that the movie also basically was making jokes about it. So when he finally says it's clobbering time, it's fun. It feels earned. It feels special. It doesn't feel ridiculous.
Well, part of that is its willingness to be self-aware. Part of it is its willingness to be meta in a certain way by basically saying, hey, look, these are characters that the world created a cartoon. The cartoon that you saw, it was this cartoon about these real people, and so it kind of works. You're like, oh yeah, okay, that's why he was so cheesy in that line, because it was a cartoon, and he flat out says, yeah, it was a cartoon.
It's almost like the scene in Logan where he looks at the comic books. He's like, yeah, about a third of this happened and not like this,
Yeah, that was cool. I love that moment in Logan, and so I just appreciated that they called it out. They didn't try and come up with some origin story of the phrase, I said that once, now you want me to say it all the time, or whatever. They the origin was, it's not what he said, it's just in the stupid cartoon.
Yeah. Well, do you know the origin
cartoon, by the way, that we've all seen?
Yeah. Do you know the origin of it in the most recent Fantastic Four movie before this?
No, because I didn't watch it.
Are you ready?
Sure.
It's clobbering time was what his older brother would say to him before he beat the crap out of him.
Oh,
his abusive brother would say
That's
this
dark.
before he beat him up. And so somehow, I don't know, he took the power from it, and it's then what he said before he beat up people. I don't know.
He reclaimed it.
Poor taste. But
Okay.
But I think you have an
you
issue
go.
with the Thing in this movie, right?
I do. But I mean, there's pros and cons. You mentioned earlier just the interaction and the relationships that they had. There's a moment very early on that we really even see in the trailers where, they're late. And, Johnny, of course, is just like, what's going on? And he's in his own world. He's like, well, yeah, you're late for dinner. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? And they keep kind of cutting back to the Thing. And it's beautiful how well you can really see this love and realization and the look on his face as they're zooming in on this rock monster. You just like, he knows, he gets it, and he is having this emotional reaction.
You're right.
To this news. It's
You're
a really
totally
beautiful
right.
moment. That CGI works so well. It really bugs me how bad some of the CGI is in this movie, particularly with the Thing and like the way he walks, like his feet on the ground really bugged me a lot. And then Baby Franklin, CGI Franklin was at times like so clearly CGI, and it's really weird to me because suddenly now the cast is like, no, there was no CGI on the baby. We had a live baby the whole time. Like, BS. There is so much CGI baby. I don't know. And then when we combine the two together, which is the Thing, CGI Thing holding CGI Franklin, there's just no reason for the CGI to be as poorly executed in a movie that has this kind of a budget. We literally just watched a movie that's nowhere near as good in Jurassic World Rebirth that has like flawless CGI.
Yeah.
And here we're getting like, a couple where they're like, good enough. Nobody's going to know.
Here's where you're wrong. The movie is nearly flawless with the CGI. I think the only time that the CGI is bad is with Baby Franklin, and specifically when the Thing is holding Baby Franklin. That's what I was noticing. The only shots where he's actually CGI, maybe minus like one, is when the Thing is holding him. And this makes sense to me. It shouldn't look bad, but I don't think the Thing looks bad outside of that. The only thing I found distracting was CGI Babyface. That was it.
Okay, so I've for the most part watched this movie twice, and I will say that upon second viewing, I'm telling you, the Thing's feet look weird when he's walking. Full body Thing looks a little. It works perfectly and is flawless when they get him from the knees up, or when they get him from the waist up, or close up on his face. But when we see full body Thing in these like size 48 shoes or whatever the heck he's wearing, it doesn't quite work. You can definitely, it's like, okay, watch it when you watch it again. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I don't want to,
but you don't want to see it.
No, I don't want to see the bad CGI you're talking about. My experience was this movie had like nearly perfect CGI in 98% of it. So
did you have any complaints? Did you think anything fell short other than CGI Franklin?
No, I mean nothing too bad. I mean, I just have like minor nitpicks, but not even really worth touching on because they're not even jumping into my mind. I mean, for the most part, I just really enjoyed it. I think we could have gotten maybe just a little more action, like one more scene for the team to really show off, you know? I think they maybe could have utilized Mr. Fantastic's powers a little more interestingly than just, parkour. I like to see him wrap around people and stuff like that. But those are just nitpicks, and we're going to get more time with these characters, so I'm really not worried. I have one more thing that I want to touch on for this movie, and that's really it.
Okay.
The post-credit scene, or actually the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
We saw Doom, kind of. We saw the back of him. And it's
Yeah,
being reported that
supposedly
was,
really him.
in fact, Robert Downey Jr. in the suit, and directed by the Russo brothers on set of Doomsday. And I got excited, dude. I mean, I wanted to see his face. I know they're teasing me, they're going to make us wait till at least the trailer, maybe even longer, hopefully longer. Honestly, hopefully they're going to make us wait till the movie. But I was teased. I was excited. I was like, that suit looks pretty cool. He looks cool from the very little you're giving us.
That is the definition of what one of those sort of post-credit or mid-credit scenes should be. It's what we got in the early days with Marvel, where, we just got a little hint at the next character we were going to get. And we're all pretty confident, obviously, that we're actually going to get that, as opposed to what happened so often throughout, maybe phases, specifically phase 5, where, they introduced some character that really wasn't all that meaningful to us, and then they never went back to that character.
Right.
So that happened so many times in phase 5. It was
too many times. There's there's still like 10 to 12 plot lines that are probably never going to be revisited from post-credit scenes in phase 5.
Yeah, I know. And that's a serious bummer, right?
But for Fantastic Four, it was a great time. Give me your Letterboxd rating.
Yeah, so I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
Which I think is probably right, but I also was a little more generous to it than I typically am. I think, for example, a lot of films that were as good or maybe slightly better, I gave 3s to in the last 6 to 9 months. I've been stingy with my 3.
You've been getting that other super half star. Stingy.
But I think 3.5 is ultimately where it's going to go. A lot of those 3s on second watch get bumped up half a star to a star. I know that I need to do that, for example, with 28 Years Later. I think I feel like there's a good chance that goes up a little bit. But yeah, 3.5. I also gave a really thorough review.
You did.
Unlike someone else on this podcast who...
What did mine say?
Kind of shortened it up. I'm pretty sure it was like one sentence. I think you basically said, "I know, you know what time it is," or something like that. You did exactly what you're saying you did in the Marvel Rivals game.
Yeah, I think I said you already know what time it is. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. You gave us nothing. You gave us nothing. So I want a little bit more. I'm requesting a little bit more attention to your reviews going forward, my friend.
That's what the podcast is for, my good friend.
I get. I get it. But, I'm more thorough. I mean, I feel like I was more thorough on my review because we don't have the time to really go through it. But
fair enough.
Anyway, so 3.5. What'd you give it?
I gave it a fitting 4. And we have established that my 4 is your 3.5. Like
we're pretty consistently a half star off of each other.
So if we agree, right? And so I think we tend to agree on this movie. I think we liked all the same things. Yeah. Our minor nitpicks are pretty similar, I think, and it has room to move. It does. I'm not super confident on the 4. It's how I felt coming out of the theater. I need to see how it rewatches. I need to maybe even stack it up against some other Marvel movies. We'll see. It could go up or down. It probably won't go up, but it might stay at a 4. Otherwise, it could drop maybe to a 3.5 similarly. But I really enjoyed the movie. I really did. No major complaints.
How often are you dropping ratings on films?
I don't usually go in and drop unless I've rewatched recently.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
It happens all the time.
But upon second watching, you're like, this wasn't as good as I thought it was? Yeah?
Yeah, it happens.
Fair.
And for me, there's a good reason. I just love the theater. I am going to enjoy a movie more in the theater. That's just the truth. Yeah. So for me, I'm hot on the movie coming out of the theater, and sometimes it doesn't translate as well once I get home. And so that happens. But then there are also times where I rewatch a movie. So actually, I'll say this. Movies I see in theaters tend to lower or are more likely to lower than movies I watch at home. And movies I watch at home sometimes are more likely to go up when I rewatch them. Because, so that's kind of maybe my pattern that I'm noticing a little bit. And that's just because I love seeing movies in the theater.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, so to wrap up our conversation on Fantastic Four First Steps, Braden gave it a 4. I gave it a 3.5. We're both hot on this film. We're excited. We're looking forward to rewatching it. And we think that Phase 6 is off to a solid start.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah. All right. That finishes a main topic. Shall we get into our homework for the week?
Let's get into our homework, man.
All right. I'll go first. You gave me Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart and many others, Vincent Cassel. I have to say that you knew me well here. You know how much I like on sea or underwater films.
Yeah, they're fun.
And I agree with your assessment that this movie is much better than the credit that it gets. Either Rotten Tomatoes or Letterboxd or other things. I gave it a 3 stars. there were things about it that I really liked. So first off, thanks for the recommendation. It was a good one. One, I love how the movie just throws you in immediately to the drama, to what's going on. It doesn't waste your time with a whole lot of exposition, a whole lot of setup. You have to really understand, all this type of motivation. No, it says like, no, this movie is about something that is happening right now. You have to stay on your toes, and let's piece together the character's motivation as we go. So I thought that was really cool. I liked that, this immediate incident on their deep sea oil rig was the impending incident. Things get worse, things get scarier, but it was really cool. I thought the CGI and the design for the creatures were phenomenal. I loved it. I loved the oil rig. I loved the dive suits. I thought the dive suits were so cool.
It's a good looking movie, huh?
Yeah, it's a good looking movie. I think that some who have heard me complain a lot about a lack of character progression or character arc is something that I oftentimes hold really against a film. In this case, I'm going to say that admittedly, there's not much arc in these characters. Like Kristen Stewart is kind of the same from the start as she is at the end. I guess she maybe gets a little bit more confident, but we're not really like, what has she learned throughout? To me, that's in this case okay, because at the end of the day, she's not the protagonist of this film. The setting is really the protagonist of this film.
Yeah.
Much the same way, and I call this out in my review, much the same way that, Sonny does not grow all that much, in my opinion, in F1. But it works because Sonny is really not the protagonist. The cars, the tracks, that's the main character of that movie.
Right.
The underwater incident, the claustrophobia of it all, the drum, that's the main character of this film. And so I was okay with the lack of overall character development. There were a few things that bugged me here and there. I mean, TJ Miller was at times super obnoxious, which is kind of, I guess, why you hire him. But other than that, really great choice, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Good. I'm glad. You're right. I knew you would like it. I knew that this time I'd be giving you one you liked. I think it's better than a 3-star, but what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's half star less than Fantastic Four.
Well, are you ready to have your heart broken?
Yeah.
You gave me The Last Mohicans, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, and I didn't really like it. Oh, man. Dude, so for the viewers, all few of them, this is one of your favorite movies ever. I wanted to like this. I sat down, I watched it on the big TV, I watched it with my wife, and we were just really bored. It's just the truth. I mean, I can appreciate plenty of great movies, plenty of old movies, and this one just was not it for me. Unfortunately, I had to disappoint you, and I think I gave it 2.5 stars. And if I'm being super honest, I was just scared to go lower.
Man, that you're killing me.
I'm killing you. I know.
I'm heartbroken that you didn't like this movie. I can't believe that you didn't. I still really think that you would like this movie. You've got to talk yourself into rewatching it at some time. I don't see this movie as boring at all. I don't see this movie as boring. I don't know. I mean, I think that some of the sequences are among my favorite action sequences, even though they're not like, like Die Hard action kind of stuff, or for that matter, this like Twitter version of action that we get out of the Transformers movies and things like that. Like the intensity of the characters and the exchanges, and there's so many moments that I just love. And I'm honestly just, I'm heartbroken and surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised that you didn't like it. So I don't know what to do about that. I think that I'm gonna have to give you
another son.
I'm gonna have to give you another tough assignment. Is what I was gonna say. No, I'm not. But I do have to say that this is your Padawan nature showing its immaturity here. I'm telling you, this is yeah. I will say though, I fell in love with this movie like in high school. I've loved it ever since.
The future is now, old man.
I'm bummed that you didn't like it. I really am. I really am. So, well.
What do you have for me this week?
I am going to give you maybe even a tougher movie from that perspective if you didn't like this. And for our listeners, I teased Braden with what I was going to assign him this week, and he literally texted me and said, "Please don't make me watch this movie." Which basically sealed his fate, that he was for sure watching this movie. But I am assigning him Casablanca, the Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman film. I think this is an all-time classic. I think it's a masterpiece. It is literally in my top 4 on Letterboxd. I've loved this movie again since I was like 14, 15 years old. It's going to be slow. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it.
I can handle slow.
And there's going to be times when the style of performance is going to be a little like you're going to be like, oh, they're overacting. But I mean, it was the style. It was how actors performed certain things at the time. But I don't know how many Humphrey Bogart films you've actually seen. Maybe none. Can you think of another Bogart film that you've seen?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, man. When I was your age, I was obsessed with Bogart. I don't know why. I just was. But I really hope that you like this. I think that it's a timeless story. I think that it's a really great, interesting insight into the World War II conflict, even though it's not a war movie, but it surrounds the politics of World War II, Nazis, fascist Italians, the Vichy French, and then, you've got this American who's running a bar in Morocco. And it's pretty cool. So I really hope you like it. But be patient with it.
I can honestly say I'm not looking forward to it. Well,
disappointing.
Here's what I'll do.
Really
you gave me a classic black and white,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to give you a more modern black and white film by Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
It is The Lighthouse. And
okay.
I'm going to preface it with a few things. You got to be ready for it. Like, you got to be in the right mood for this movie. It's somewhat...
Same.
Yeah. Okay. This movie's kind of up an alley that sometimes you appreciate, regularly you don't. And it's going to be somewhat jarring. The editing is very it's one of those movies where you're just going to be on a scene and then you're just going to jump to another scene and it's going to be really loud and you're probably going to jump because it's just jarring. The movie is...
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy movie. It's been quite a while since I've watched it, but it has two truly awesome and crazy performances from William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. And that's why I said Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you said William.
No, Willem.
Got it. Just making sure. I apologize.
Well, I'm going to edit this, and if I said William, I'm cutting it out.
No, I'm sure it's my fault. I have old ears. I have to wear the big headphones so I can hear more.
All that hair grown out of them,
Clearly, I'm not. No.
Willem Dafoe.
I just want to say, trim your damn ears.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Age is no excuse. Trim that hair in the ears.
I think you're going to like this movie if for no other reason than 2 pretty awesome performances. It's
both actors that I like.
Yeah. I think you'll like it. So, but just be ready. Be in the right mood. It's not going to be a feel good movie or anything like that.
What would you how would you classify the genre? How would you personally classify the genre of this film?
I mean, it's almost like an artsy horror movie, but I don't like horror movies. So
neither do I.
But I enjoyed this, so I wouldn't say it's full-blown horror. So I think that's why you will appreciate it, but it's kind of daunting, jarring, somewhat of a thriller, very artsy. It's a little bit of its own thing. You don't get too many movies like this modernly. I don't know if it's A24. If it's not, it feels A24. So I think you'll like it. I hope you like it.
Realistically, it seems like exactly the kind of movie I would have driven in. Like in college, I would have driven into Santa Monica or the West Side to see, to find some old movie house that was playing this, at like midnight or something. It was the kind of film I would have seen in that. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it sounds like a good selection for me yet again. Yeah. Hopefully, I redeem myself a little with Casablanca, but you're not hopeful.
I'm not hopeful.
Yeah.
I am not.
Well, We've ranked and we've debated. We disagreed, though, not about who shot first, but it's just all another day in the galaxy.
So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Until the next episode, remember that with great power comes great responsibility. But I'm supposed to say a great second breakfast, but winter is also coming, and so may the force be long and prosper with you.
Because we can do this all day. And this is the way.
Say hi to the wife.
I will. Peace.
All right. Peace.